What do designers love most about their work? Drawing illustrations, picking a color palette, choosing fonts? Maybe. But there is one thing that makes designers especially happy. Finding a solution to a problem, because eventually that is what gives sense to our work. Hi, I'm Ilya, the founder of Eleken, a product design agency for SaaS. And today I'll tell you 5 stories about our clients to show you how design helped them at different stages of their product lifecycle, from discovery to redesign. So what are the product owner's goals and objectives? In this video, I'm going to focus on metrics. Let's talk about big objectives. First, product discovery. Product owners have to figure out what needs to be built. We also call it product discovery. People decide to launch a startup because they have a genius idea and a passion to develop it. What is a common problem of these passion-driven founders? They decide to reinvent the wheel, or another notes app, or a fitness tracker, you name it. How to avoid that? The answer is to learn how your product can better serve your customers before developing the product. Such analysis may include competitor research, user interviews, two-factor analysis, value proposition development, and other methods. Let me tell you a case from our experience. One of our clients, the company called Heaven Diagnostics, a startup that helps companies make office spaces safe and compliant with state regulations. Basically, they keep track of the work environment in offices, analyze the risk of viruses spread, and check if the state standards are met. The company surged during the pandemic and needed to find its place in the pandemic situation when the state health regulations were changing all the time. Our designer, Alexandra, who is working on Heaven Diagnostics, started with competitor research. There have been a few products on the market that try to solve the same problem, and it was important to investigate their cases. The next came user research. We took a whiteboard and put all that we found about the existing and potential clients, their pains, goals, questions, and insights. How did it help? For example, we found out that hybrid work schedules can fix some of the issues related to remote work efficiency and workplace safety, and some other insights that help to shape a good product. Next, Alexandra conducted two-factor analysis. She evaluated all the supposed features in 2 scales: difficulty and value. For a new product, it is crucial to avoid the desire to include all of the possible functions and focus on the ones that are most effective and feasible. The final stage of our brainstorming was developing a value proposition. We used Dr. Alexander Osterwalder's value proposition canvas, which allowed us to see clearly on how the product will solve users' needs. After that, the founders realized that they need to conduct detailed user interviews to find out if their hypotheses work. After all the discovery, here is the prototype that we designed. Building a prototype is actually our next step. It is one of the most important product owner's objectives at the initial stage of the product development. Why is the prototype so important? Because it helps startups get funding. As a famous proverb says, one prototype is worth 100 presentation slides. Here is the story of a prototype that we made for Tromso, a tool for developers. It is a security app that helps find vulnerabilities in code. When we started our work, all they had was the functionality. So our task was to create a sleek design that would make the functionality appealing to investors. The main challenge was the time. We had to prepare a prototype in 1 month. It was a tough task, but we managed. And guess what? They get funded. Next objective is creation of MVP out of a prototype. Some startups can skip the prototyping stage, but hardly anyone can skip the MVP. And this one is not possible without a professional product designer and a product owner. When we get to work on an MVP, it's not just arranging buttons on the screen. We work on various levels: information architecture, user flows, navigation system, wireframes, visual design, and of course, in the end, the MVP has to be tested. If you want to know more on the process of MVP development, check our video What is MVP? So what happens after the launch? Can designers just say goodbye? Not really. When the product is on and running, the design work still doesn't end. At least when we are talking about SaaS, the products that involve constantly, you cannot do without improving user experience. Yeah, I know. It's kinda obvious that UX designers work to improve user experience. What is not obvious is how they do it. Here is the story of Ricochet 360, a CRM platform and a cloud phone system. In the past, it took them a month to onboard a new client. Imagine all that fuzz. Designers can improve business performance by making the product easier to use. Experienced designers can boost business performance fast. One of the tricks here is to make tiny, fast improvements to the existing design before doing a complete revamp. Little pain, maximum gain, and the immediate improvements of the user experience. This is the Add New Lead screen. There was a list of 31 fields for entering without any sign on how to enter them correctly, which ones are essential. It caused a high number of errors. For example, if a user entered a phone number in the wrong format without zeros, they would only realize it after they entered the other 30 fields and click next just to see their work destroyed. Small changes help to prevent such errors. Our designer placed asterisks on the required fields, tooltips next to each field, and instant error messages when the entered info has an invalid format. After that, the client felt that they were ready for the bigger changes. Here is what the new screen looks like after a big redesign. It shows only the essential fields, hiding the rest under the additional information drop-down. Implementing a full-scale redesign can take a few months. Why should users make errors all the time? Adding asterisks takes only hours if not minutes, and the effect is instant. Let's get to the new product owner's objective: shaping new features. Often there are more ideas for new features than the team is able to implement. The task for the product owner is to prioritize and pick the most important ones. And here is another challenge: when the features are added on top of another. After a while, the product can end up looking like a little Frankenstein's monster. The navigation becomes too complicated and the design is not consistent. Meet our next hero. Enroll is a SaaS product that helps universities automate the student engagement processes. To become a leader in the market, they wanted to add a new reporting feature. To decide how this tool would look and work in the app, they did some brainstorming in the product team: designers, developers, and the product owners. The task of the designers was to find the best option for visualizing each piece of data and put it all together in an easily readable report. And there was a lot of data. The team defined 4 categories that helped to organize the data, brainstormed a list of components and the way to visualize them. This is a result. A large dataset is easy to read on a single dashboard. If you've ever had a chance to see what university software looks like, you understand that this modern design makes a big difference. How many more goals and objectives do product owners have? Well, a lot. And we have way more examples to tell. I didn't mention metrics, but this is also something that design can improve. For example, we had a case when a product increased the number of positive reviews on the App Store by 200%. Basically, users started loving it twice as much, just because of the changes in design. If you want to learn more about real-life product design cases, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button so you don't miss out on them. See you soon!